I'm here with Nadia Matar at the Sheva conference. Let's get straight to the point. Firstly, just tell us a little bit about you because it's amazing, your story.
I am together with Judith Katzover. We are the co-chairs of the sovereignty movement that used to be called in the past the Women in Green. And basically, we represent all those and the majority of the Jewish people that say that the land of Israel belongs to the people of Israel. The question is, how do we keep the land? What do we do to keep the land? And we are here in this conference that organized by Besheva and Sheva that focuses on economy. And some people might say, what is your connection to economy? So if you allow me, I will say a few words. Basically, a good friend of ours once said, an ideology is a good one and a correct one if you can bring down the ideology to the practicality, not only in the realm of messianism and in the sky, but if you can bring it down. That is why we founded the sovereignty movement in 2011. In 1993, we founded the Women in Green movement to oppose the Oslo agreements. I didn't know Judith Katzover then. It was my wonderful in-laws of blessed memory, Ruth and Michael Matar, who founded an organization to fight the Oslo Accords, and we, together with many others, we were busy with that. After Gush Katif, we returned, broken-hearted that we did not succeed in saving Gush Katif and northern Shamron.
You lived in Gush Katif, right?
No, we moved to Gush Katif to try, together with many other thousands, to try and prevent the disengagement, which were, of course, called the expulsion from Gush Katif. We returned from there. My in-laws were already not in good health, and I had the incredible privilege of meeting Yehudit Katzover, one of the pioneers of the renewed Jewish settlement in Hebron, together with her husband Tzvi, who was the mayor of Kiryat Arba for 20 years, and who both of them went in the footsteps together with Rabbi Levinger and Ha'etzli and that whole generation who, after they saw the government stuttering in 1967, not knowing what to do with Judea and Samaria, and unfortunately, declaring a victory, but not really finishing the victory till the end because they did not apply sovereignty over the land. They just said, we won. And thanks to those pioneers, Rabbi Levinger, the Katzovers, the Ha'etzlis, etc., they said, hey, we have to settle. And thanks to that little group of people, 500,000 Jews live today in Judea and Samaria. But the sovereignty is still, the legal status is still in a limbo and a question mark. And no wonder people are saying, oh, then it's not really yours. If there's no sovereignty, maybe you are occupiers. And thus, after I had the privilege of meeting Judith Katzover, and we had many battles, and we don't have the time, one day you'll come to us, Hadassah, and we'll show you the different battles we had on different hills. It was very nice, but when we had a battle for 6 years on a small hill, meanwhile the Palestinian Authority took over with billions of dollars all over, and in 2011, Judith Katzover said, we cannot win the battle for Judea and Samaria if we only fight for a hill here and a hill there. It's very important, but it's like taking out the sea with a spoon. What needs to be done is a plan. Up until now, the National Camp, said Yehudit in 2011, doesn't have a plan. The left has a plan. We oppose their plan, the two-state solution. We think and we believe and we know it's suicide. The majority of the Jewish people know it's suicide. But what do we present? We only say no. No to a Palestinian state, no to give them weapons, no to shake the hands of the murderer Arafat. So what is our yes? Said Judith in 2011. And she said, we must raise the flag of what should have been done at the end of the Six-Day War, the application of Israeli sovereignty, the Israeli law over Judea and Samaria. And we started promoting that. I'll tell you a secret, even with people in our own camp, a little bit laughing at us, saying, who needs it? Maybe you don't need it. And little by little, together with many others and Knesset members who joined, etc., the word sovereignty became consensus. The left has a two-state solution. We call it a delusional two-state solution, suicidal. And the right now has a plan also, not only saying no, but we say sovereignty.
Which includes Judea and Samaria.
Over Judea and Samaria, meaning to include Judea and Samaria as if it's Ranana, as if it's part of a country. But then people started asking, okay, the general idea is very nice, but how does one do it in practicality? And that is when we plunged into that also. We don't have the time to discuss that either, a Tama program to show that it can be done. But then we understood that on the eve of these elections, the main topic that interests the Israeli people is the fact that they can't buy an apartment for their children, that the price of the housing. And it's again, I must say, when I speak in English and she doesn't hear Yehudit, I always give her compliments, but it was her idea. She said, we have to show that building that Judea and Samaria are also give an answer to many, many troubles that are troubles of people who don't think about it. And we said, let's make a research, and if we build hundreds of thousands of units in Judea and Samaria, will it lower the prices not only in Judea and Samaria, but also in Tel Aviv?
And in Jerusalem.
And ho and behold, and that is what we came to present today at this very conference. We're translating it, and it will be in English by the end of the day, hopefully by tomorrow, that building hundreds of thousands of units in Judea and Samaria will lower the prices all over the country. Basically, it says here that over the past 10 years, the prices of housing went up 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
And because there's such a big demand and such little hitzah, as we say in English, that you don't, there's demand and
request.
And request. No, not demand and hitzah. I forgot how you translate it, but how much you can offer. We need to build much more. Now, the question is, and our researcher found that we need to build another 25,000 units per year in order to lower the prices. But where are we going to build? The question is where? With all our love to the Negev and the Galil, and they must be built, and Jews must move there, but this is good for the ideologues. Most people want to be between Hadera and Gadera because that's where the work is, close to Tel Aviv. That's what we found out in our research. And how can they be close to Tel Aviv but not in Tel Aviv? 30 kilometers from there, between Hadera and Gadera, and we have a map, is Samaria. And in Samaria, there is empty land where you can build tens and hundreds of thousands of units in the next few years. And by doing so, it's basically, there's already tonight, if we could, we could even start building. There's 100 square kilometers. I don't know if people know, but how big is Tel Aviv, do you know? In square kilometers. The whole Tel Aviv region. Petach Tikva, Tel Aviv, I'll tell you exactly, all together, Tel Aviv, Petach Tikva, Givatayim in Ramat Gan, and Park HaYarkon are all together 100 square kilometers.
Okay. So
exactly that can be built. It's the space that is available, I don't know if we can see it, is available in Samaria, a 15-minute drive from Tel Aviv, and all we need to do is to commit our politicians that when they come to power, hopefully if the right wing comes out to power and everybody has to come out and vote and bring a right-wing government into power, then we will promote that. And that will bring in ideology with economics.
And lower the prices.
And lower the prices. And we already, a week ago, we had in our journal, it's all in English too, but I didn't know I was going to be interviewed, so I didn't bring it in English.
Okay, we'll do it again.
But we have our Eastward Ho journal completely discussing this, and we have this signature of over 60 Knesset members who commit in a letter that if and when, please God, there will be a right-wing government, a national government, they will promote this plan of moving eastward, or as we called it, Eastward Ho. So that's why we are here. We have to show the people optimism. We have to show them that the land of Israel is not only ideology, it's not messianism. The land of Israel is practicality. We are here to live, and we learn it from Abraham Avinu.
Right.
As Judith said at the thing, Abraham, what did he do when his wife died? He could have just stayed home and cried. He bought land. He bought land, real estate, because this is our land, but we need to also buy it, develop it, and the best way to bring sovereignty is by building hundreds of thousands of units in Judea and Samaria, and understanding that Judea and Samaria is not a problem, it's the answer. It answers also another problem, which it's not the topic of this discussion, but there's a terrible problem in Jerusalem of demography. There's more and more Arabs. There's 60% Jews, 40% Arabs. What do? We're in danger here of losing a Jewish demography, Jewish majority.
Right.
And the answer of the sovereignty movement that is for another conference, is the Greater Jerusalem Plan, to add all the areas around Jerusalem, Gush Etzion, Ma'ale Adumim, etc., like they did with New York. They added all the things. God forbid, I'm not comparing Holy Jerusalem to New York, but that will add 250,000 Jews to Jerusalem, and we will solve by applying sovereignty, by bringing in all those areas, we will solve the problem of demography. So Judea and Samaria, in one sentence, is the answer. Judea and Samaria is all ours. There's an axioma. The axioma is that the land of Israel belongs totally to us. that we must have Israel, all of it under Israeli sovereignty, the moment it's clear to you that it's yours, the moment it's clear to you that it's an axioma, you sit down and you make realistic plans to solve all the problems that exist. We don't deny there are problems, but there are also solutions without creating a Palestinian state, solutions without caving into Arab terror, without losing our Jewish identity, without bowing down our Jewish pride. At the contrary, to be proud to be Jews in the land of Israel.
Amen.
And one more sentence.
Yes.
All this will be much easier when we will have another 2 million Jews coming on Aliyah to the best country in the world, and the only country where there's a future for the Jewish people, only in Eretz Israel.
Where did you come from?
I come from Antwerp, from Belgium. I understand you're from Italy.
Yes, there
and
you go. We're the good example of
we are
Aliyah.
all examples of Aliyah, and one of the plans is that, of sovereignty also, is that we must, and we're not doing this as beggars, we're doing this as calling upon you to not lose the historic opportunity,
right,
not to drown in the diaspora, in the galut, but to come here to the most wonderful country in the world.
Nadia, what about the elections?
You know, as an extra-parliamentary organization, we're not allowed to call to vote for a specific party. What we are allowed to do is to say our message that's connected to what our party represents. And we are calling upon everybody to go out in masses to vote for those parties that stayed loyal to the land of Israel, who are loyal to the land of Israel, who will continue to be loyal to the land of Israel, and to come out and vote. We hear too many people telling us, I don't know who to vote for, and maybe I shouldn't, and what does it make a difference?
Right.
We feel that this time it is the most crucial ever. It is choosing and voting between two worldviews. It is the worldview, and our youth, I forgot to tell you, we also have sovereignty youth. Mm-hmm. They go out and they have those signs. And the sign that we made is on November 1st, you choose between sovereignty or Palestine. Those elections are crucial to vote between the two worldviews, between those, and we know who they are, who have no problem into seeing Israel as a state of all its citizens, doesn't have to be a Jewish state. That is all those who are included in the group of Palestine, because they will go together with the Arabs, they will go together with the Hamas, they have no problem. They will, or vote for those who are in favor of the land of Israel. It is really a vote between two different worldviews. And therefore you can't stay home. You can't be too picky. It's not a marriage where you're going to marry. You have politics is something where you sometimes have to close. You say, I don't like everybody on that list. Okay, but they represent the ship. It's like with a ship. The ship is going in a certain direction. There's two directions now. There's the directions of sovereignty, of Jewish pride, of the land of Israel, of Zionism, and there's the direction of a Palestinian state, of terror, of caving in, of losing our identity. And that is what these elections are about. That's why they're so crucial. And nobody has the luxury to stay home. Because if you stay home, belonging to one ship, you are giving your vote to the other ship.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much, Nadia.
Thank you. And thank you to Arutz Sheva. And thank you to Besheva for always being there for the land of Israel, for sovereignty. And you guys are great.
Thank you so much.